guys, welcome to the Everett Silver Show. We have exciting guests as we do every week, and so I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm always bringing it to you, so thanks so much for staying in tune with us. Stay connected. You're watching the Everett Silver Show.
Everett, my friend.
Bob, what's going on, man? Always a pleasure to have my buddy on the show.
Always great to be with you, my friend. Great. Happy Father's Day.
Man, happy Father's Day to you, too, as well, man. Folks, I got my special guest, Bob Guiney, former bachelor and longtime member of the Today Show. Guys, Tell All panel. Kind of reveals to find some perfect gifts for Dad. Y'all know that Father's Day is coming up. So as a proud father himself, Bob knows about the best gifts, what we need to put in the boxes. And so, Bob, with that being said, what are some of the great gift ideas that you have for dads for, I guess, enjoying entertaining?
Absolutely. No more ties and socks for us, Everett. We entertaining dads. We need some good stuff, and we got it for you here. I love the Jura S8. This will rival your favorite cafe, beat that best barista, because you can do it at home by yourself. It's got a touchscreen color display, offers up to 27 specialties that are always freshly ground, not capsuled. The high-performance grinder ensures the perfect grind for exceptional coffee, cup after cup, for maximum flavor. And now, we also can add a little flavor of syrup in there as well with Jura's exclusive sweet foam function. So, always a great cup of coffee to end the night. You can make an espresso martini. You can do whatever you want to do with it. And then whether dad's new to grilling and smoking food or wants more flavorful food, the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 600 digital charcoal smoker grill makes cooking with charcoal easy. You simply load the gravity-fed charcoal hopper, light the fire starter, set the cooking temperature using the app or digital control panel, and Dad is ready to cook. This versatile smoker grill will let him sear foods up to 700 degrees or smoke it low and slow for up to 18 hours. So we got something out there for the dad who loves entertaining.
And then, Bob, what are some of the great gift ideas for the dad who, some folks think already have everything?
That's a great question, Everett. And I'll tell you what, I'll bet you that dad does not have outdoor lights he can sync to music. The GE Sync Dynamic Effects Smart Cafe lights, these are great. They offer millions of vibrant colors, white tones to match the style and the occasion. Each light can be controlled individually with the intuitive Sync app, and they're compatible with their voice assistant for hands-free control, too. The light strings are easy to install, great for decks, fences, or trees. And to get yours, go to shop.gelighting.com. And another great gift for the dad who has everything, I'm telling you, if he's got everything, he's probably got a kid knocking his phone out of his hands 24/7, too, like I do. The OtterBox Free Series phone case frees Dad up to take his phone anywhere. It's waterproof for 1 hour and 2 meters of water, and in tests, it endured 5 times as many drops as the military standard. Now, all the features or functions of the phone are fully accessible through the case and screen protector, and now through June 14th, their Father's Day deal gets you 25% off site-wide, along with free 2-day shipping on orders over $50. Now, last but not least, this is for dads everywhere. We just love to know what the weather is. We're dads. That's what we do, right? It's kind of part of our planning.
That's right.
Dads love being able to predict that weather, and the Tempest Weather Station will let them do it. Tempest Weather Station doesn't just give them temperature, humidity, wind speed, and direction, but the rain sensor actually uses haptics like your cell phone touchscreen to count each raindrop. And its nearcast technology then takes all the data, combines it with other weather info to give Dad his own hyper-local forecast. So Dad becomes the meteorologist of the home and probably of the neighborhood in the process.
And then, Bob, these great ideas, man, where do we go for further information?
All you got to do is go to dailylounge.com.
Go to dailylounge.com is where you want to go. I want to thank my friend Bob Guiney, a former bachelor and longtime member of today's show, Guys Tell All. And I want to thank Bob for doing the show. Happy Father's Day again, Bob. Thanks for doing the show, man.
Same to you, Everett. Have a great one, buddy.
You too, man. Bye-bye.
Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning into the Everett Silver Show. Stay tuned. Don't turn that dial because we got more exciting guests right here on the Everett Silver Show. Be back in a moment. Well, guys, I want to welcome everybody to the Everett Show, and I have a special guest with us, guys. Small businesses across North Carolina, they're kind of facing, though, kind of a real economic kind of headwind with tariffs in place and inflation to kind of supply chain issues. But one financial strategist based here in Graham, North Carolina, is kind of helping entrepreneurs across the Tri-County beyond to get back on track. So I have the wonderful Pam Jordan, founder of Privet Business Group, also host of Privet the Profit Broadcast, where she shares really some of the real world financial strategies that kind of help business owners kind of help keep them, and what they earn really. So Pam, again, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Everett. Honored to be here.
How did your journey as an entrepreneur begin here in North Carolina?
Absolutely. So I'm an Air Force brat. So my dad moved all around the country, actually the world. And I came to North Carolina in 1999 to attend Elon College as a fighting Christian,
Um,
to attend college, and then graduated, got married, and have just been here ever since.
Well, that I mean, when you think in terms of, I tell you, that's some great news already. Because what are some of the major though when we talk about challenges entrepreneurs are kind of facing now, especially during the time of economic uncertainty? What do you think that is?
Absolutely. So, small business owners in North Carolina and across America are really struggling right now with a number of things. The tariffs are definitely a touchy subject because a lot of our clients that sell an actual product, bits and pieces of it are coming from offshore, and it's just costing more to get that into the country and get it assembled and sell it. So, a lot of our clients are really just struggling with their costs right now and their pricing and what to increase and how much to increase. And also, interest rates are affecting a lot of our clients because a lot of them have to finance the growth of their business. And those higher interest rates are just taking up a lot of their cash. So, the big thing that we're seeing is most business owners just really need to get their internal business records under control and on lock so they know what their numbers are. So as these external factors are coming in and hindering the growth of their business, they're able to know, okay, these are the decisions that I need to make. I need to increase by this amount. This is what it's actually costing. These are the steps that I can take to help survive whatever the current turmoil is.
Now, Pam, when you're working with businesses, what do I guess you focus on to kind of help them move towards what we call financial growth?
Absolutely. So we take a simple approach. First, it's about helping them get their books in order. They have to know their numbers. So that's step one, is accurate bookkeeping, accurate records. Next, we do a profit analysis where we figure out exactly what's going on in their business. Are they overpaying on taxes? What can they do to grow and manage their cash flow? What do they need to do for wealth protection? And then third, we look at really what's the holistic picture of where they are from where they want to be and create a plan to help them get there.
And then, can you share a few kind of actionable strategies that entrepreneurs can kind of take right now to kind of boost that bottom line?
Absolutely. I'll share two. The first one is really just hone in on your pricing. What I find, Everett, is when we work with business owners, they're essentially just guessing what to charge for their products and services. And a lot of times they're not charging enough to cover their direct costs and their overhead costs. So the first thing is to really just run some basic numbers on what it's costing you to fulfill on your product or service and account for overhead, and realize that most likely you need to do a price increase, and now is the perfect time to do it. You don't need to wait till next month, next quarter. Now is the perfect time to notify your customers that you're going up 10, 15, 20%, and start making sure that you're making your margins. And then the second thing, Everett, is what we call an expense audit. And this is where you look at the last 3 months of credit card statements and bank statements and just really hone in and figure out, where's my money going? Because far too often there's too much money leaving the bank. And a lot of times it's not one gushing way that money is leaving the company. A lot of times it's death by a thousand cuts. So it's a little bit of, you're overpaying on software, your insurance is too high, your merchant fees are too high, your payroll is underutilized, and really just honing in all those little costs to tighten the belt so that you can make sure that you're putting more money in your pocket, because it's not what you make that matters, it's what you keep.
Pam, I got to tell you how, first of all, how proud of I am with you. I was looking at your work and things that you're doing in the state itself. And so we just applaud you for those things. But can you share, though, one of your newest ventures, Pivot to Profit, to inspire it? And what do you hope listeners will take away from that?
Absolutely. In April, we launched Pivot to Profit podcast. And what this is it's 2 episodes a month. And what it does is it shares entrepreneurs' journeys so that other people can learn from their wins, their losses, and the painful lessons. Because Everett, any entrepreneur, any business owner, it's never a straight line to success and profitability. There's potholes, there's pitfalls, there's walls, there's cliffs that we fall off of. So what I love to do in one of those episodes a week is interview a successful entrepreneur to share their stories, because all of us can learn from those. So it's a great way to give back to the entrepreneurial community, to hear from successful people, to say, let me explain how I blindly let someone embezzle $300,000 from my business because I wasn't paying attention. Don't do that. Here's how you can do it differently. So it's a huge tool to teach other entrepreneurs how to do things the right way and how to avoid some of those pitfalls. And then the second episode that we do every month is with one of my tax strategists. Her name is Alexis Sidney, and she's an enrolled agent. And so we talk about taxes, because what people don't understand is as you grow your business and you get more profit, if you do not have the right people on your team, your tax professional is going to say, congratulations, Everett. It looks like it was a great year. You owe the IRS $40,000. And you're like, hold on, I don't have $40,000. I didn't make that much money. And so what we do is use legal tax strategies to help keep more of that money within the business and within the owner's pockets to legally reduce their tax liability. And that's what that other conversation is about, because we find that far too often tax strategy is reactive. It's December. How did you do this year, business owner? Oh, it looks like you made money. Why don't you go buy a truck? Well, that's not a good tax strategy unless you need a truck. That's spending $1 to save 30 cents in taxes. And so what we do is take a proactive approach and want to educate business owners that you should be spending $1 to save $1 in taxes, not spending $1 to save 30 cents in taxes.
Well, I got to tell you, Pam, businesses across, I'm sure, North Carolina is going to just appreciate all that you're doing. And we've talked about a lot here, but somebody I know is going to be calling me or going to be getting in contact with me and say, Pam shared some wonderful information. So where do we go to find you further?
Absolutely. Just go to my website, pamjordan.com. And you can also find me on social media at pamjordancfo. It has a link to my podcast, a link to my business, Pivot Business Group. We would love to support any business owner who needs to know their numbers, increase their profit, reduce their taxes, and grow their wealth.
Well, I got to tell you, what a wonderful privilege to have my special guest, Pam Jordan, founder of Pivot Business Group and also the host of Pivot to Profit podcast, has been with us. Pam, thank you so much. Make sure you go to pamjordan.com. All of the information is right there. Pam, what a privilege to have you. Thank you so much. And look, welcome, North Carolinian.
Thank you so much.
See you later. More guests coming your way. Don't touch that dial. I'll be back in a moment.
Dr. Flamm, Rosetta, thank you so much for doing the show. A pleasure to have you both.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Liver disease is on the rise in the United States. Women are at higher risk of developing a certain type of, preliminary biliary cholangitis. But when I think of PBC, which is left untreated, it can treat, it could be lead to liver transplant, or even it could be death. And so join us to kind of talk about PBC is Dr. Stephen Flamm, a liver expert at Rush University Medical Center, also Rosetta, who is living with PBC and has advice on how to kind of become an advocate for the health. So Dr. Flamm, talk about what is primary or preliminary biliary, or PBC, I should say, and who does it impact?
Hi, Everett. That's a great question. Primary biliary cholangitis, PBC, is an uncommon but increasing in prevalence liver disease that's under the umbrella of autoimmune diseases, meaning your own immune system attacks the liver for unclear reasons and over the years damages the liver. And if it's not diagnosed early and treated aggressively, patients can end up needing liver transplantation or die. So it's very important to diagnose this problem. Now, for reasons that are unclear, This disease is primarily a disease of middle-aged women, women between ages 35 and 55. Sometimes older women are diagnosed, sometimes men are diagnosed, but primarily this is a disease of middle-aged women.
Now, Rosetta, can you describe how you were diagnosed with PBC and how, I guess, did it impact your life?
Yes, in 2017, when I was pregnant with my youngest son, I went to put my contacts in one morning and my eyes were actually yellow. It was really scary. I started developing all these troubling symptoms: yellow skin, itch, fatigue. My doctors initially thought that it was related to the pregnancy, but I didn't get any better. So eventually I was sent to a liver specialist where I had a blood test and a liver biopsy. It confirmed my diagnosis. It was PBC, and it was really frightening.
Now, Dr. Flamm, can you tell us about the treatments, though, for this disease and the latest kind of approach to it?
Yes, Everett. You know, about 25 years ago, a natural substance, a substance that's in our bodies already, called ursodeoxycholic acid, was approved for treatment of PBC. And in very high doses, much higher than what we have inside of ourselves already, it actually slowed the disease progression down. It didn't cure it, but it slowed it down. The problem is, it works optimally in about 60% of people, but it works less well in about 40% of people. The big advance in the field, Everett, is that second-line therapeutic agents have become available to help the people that aren't having an optimal response to the first-line therapy. And one such agent is called Iqirvo. Now, Iqirvo is made by a company called Ipsen, which is compensating Rosetta and myself for our time today. But in a one-year trial, where this drug was used in people that were not having an optimal response to the ursodeoxycholic acid, 51% of people now had an optimal response. So it helped a lot of people. And fortunately, it's very well tolerated. There were small numbers of people that had muscle issues, rarely liver toxicity, uncommon bone fractures were reported. But in my experience, this drug is very well tolerated. So if anybody in your audience is eligible for this drug or any new drug, it's important for them to have a very careful discussion with their healthcare provider to determine the risks and benefits of the new drug before it's actually started.
And then, Rosetta, can you describe the significance of this treatment for you and others like you?
Yes, when I was first diagnosed, my doctor started me on a medication, but I wasn't getting any better. So my husband and I actually made the decision to move our family across the country to be near a team of specialists that we were more comfortable with. Once we moved, I started a second-line treatment, but it wasn't working for me. Once I started the Iqirvo, my ALP numbers came down, my symptoms subsided. So this is my experience, but just for me, I started to feel more like myself again. I think it's really important that you advocate for yourself and talk to your doctors.
And then, Dr. Flamm, what are some of the final takeaways you want my audience to kind of remember about PBC?
Everett, I think that there are at least three takeaways I'd love to leave your audience. First of all, you don't have to drink alcohol to have liver problems. Many people have liver problems like PBC, even when they don't drink. Second, many patients have chronic liver disease and they have no symptoms. And you want to follow up if you have abnormal liver tests. You want your primary doctor to send you to a specialist for follow-up, even if you feel well, because you want diseases to be diagnosed early and treated early before the die is cast. And thirdly, about PBC in particular, there are lots of sources of information out there for patients and their families where PBC is involved. One great resource is called iqirvo.com, IQIRVO.com. This has lots of pertinent information for patients and families. And of course, it's free, so it can help people that need more information about this disease.
Again, I want to thank my special guest, Dr. Stephen Flamm, a liver expert at Rush University Medical Center, And Rosetta, thank you so much for sharing your story, who's living with PBC, and the great advice that you gave. Thank you guys for doing the show today.
Thank you for having us, Everett.
More guests coming your way. Don't touch that dial. I'll be back in a moment.
Hey, Everett.
Kelly, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
Excuse me. You're so welcome. Well, folks, summer is here, and everyone is kind of getting ready for the heat. I have Kelly Edwards is here to kind of tell us about the essentials you need to get your home ready for summer. And so, again, a pleasant good morning to you, Kelly. With that being said, what can you suggest for updating kind of our laundry room?
Yeah, so let's start in the laundry room. Weird place to start, but believe it or not, I absolutely love doing laundry. It's one of the places that my husband and I excel when it comes to teamwork. The reason why I love it so much is because we love our LG. Now, LG is a fantastic company. It makes things easy. They have innovative laundry solutions like their wash tower that you see here, as well as their wash combo. Now, sleek, space-saving solutions that are really designed for today's lifestyle. It has built-in intelligence, intuitive controls, it has quiet, efficient performance. When I say that this makes laundry easier, it makes it faster, it makes it more enjoyable, you need to take it from me. You can go to lg.com for some more information, but I absolutely love mine.
Now, Kelly, how can you recommend, I guess, for adding to personal touches to our home?
Yeah, so obviously during the summer months, we want to personalize our space because we have so many people coming over, and Cricut is a great way to do that. Now, with the Cricut machine, the Cricut Joy Extra, you can make really cute things like maybe a welcome sign or maybe a monogrammed tea towel. Now, these Cricut machines, especially the Cricut Joy Extra, is absolutely amazing. It's easy to use. It can cut up to 50 plus materials. Vinyl, cardstock, iron-on, you name it. It is compact. It fits into any space. There is no craft room or crafting experience required. Super easy to use. You can go to Cricut.com. Costs about $199, but it is perfect for personalizing your space.
Now, Kelly, going outside now, what can you suggest for keeping the outdoor furniture clean?
Well, obviously during the warmer months, it's ideal conditions for that mold and mildew to build up on surfaces. And a great tip is to use Clorox disinfectant bleach on it. Now, what this will do is it'll clean, it'll disinfect, and it'll eliminate those odors and stains that are caused by the mold and mildew that's built up on these hard, non-porous surfaces. So you can use this on plastic lawn chairs, you can use it on sealed wood picnic tables, so much more. Once you use it, it will really keep your outdoors fresh. And now you will essentially be ready for all that hosting and those fantastic outdoor barbecues.
And then, Kelly, while outside, any ideas for summer grilling?
I do, yeah. So speaking of outdoor barbecues and grilling, I am joined today by a great grill. It is the Ninja Flex Flame. Now, I love this grill. It's Ninja's first propane outdoor cooking system. What it is it's a 5-in-1. So it grills, it smokes, it roasts, it griddles, and if you can believe it, you can even make pizzas in it, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, it has an exclusive cyclonic heat IQ technology, which circulates the heat evenly throughout the grill, so you get a faster, more flavorful result than traditional grills. Now, beginners to experts, doesn't matter. You're going to create impressive meals no matter what. It's perfect for everybody. It is under $1,000, and you can go to ninjakitchen.com. You can go to Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Bass Pro Shop, and of course Amazon, and get it there. But it is perfect for grilling outside and entertaining this summer.
Great, I tell you, so many great ideas and stuff you gave us today. Now, where do we go for more information on everything that you shared?
Well, you can obviously go to all the brands' websites, or you can go to my Instagram, which is Kelly Edwards Inc., and you'll find everything there.
I want to again thank my special guest, Kelly Edwards, has been with us today, sharing these wonderful tips. Thanks, Kelly, for doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
More guests coming your way. Don't touch that dial. I'll be back in a moment.
Me.
You're so welcome. Well, folks, I have my special guest with us. We talk about World Oceans Day, kind of celebrate globally each year. Was officially kind of recognized by the United Nations in 2008 as the goal to raise an awareness about crucial role on OSHA plays in our everyday lives, and also to inspire actions to kind of protect marine ecosystems in the United States, coastal communities, aquariums, conservation organizations mark the day kind of beach cleanups, educational programming, and calls for some type of substantial action. And so I have former NASA astronaut and director of science research at DEEP, Dr. Don Kernagis is here with us to kind of share some of the results of the survey, kind of dive deep into some of the public perceptions of the oceans and explore how American families across generations kind of, can think about the ocean. And so welcome again, Dr. Kernagis. What do parents and their children believe that it has kind of the biggest impact on Earth's climate, space, humans, and also oceans themselves?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that great overview of World Oceans Day. So DEEP, in honor of World Oceans Day, conducted a survey of 2,000 Americans, so 1,000 parents with children aged 6 to 16, and then 1,000 children that were aged 6 to 16. And so found a bunch of different things, but I'll just give some highlights of what we learned. So less than half of the people that we surveyed realized that the ocean impacts their daily lives. And we know how critical that impact is of the ocean on our daily lives, from providing the oxygen that we breathe, to cooling our planet, to having an impact on climate, to providing critical infrastructure and even sources of food. So it's interesting that only 45% of the people actually recognize that importance in our daily lives. But 84% did say that they found that the ocean was fascinating. So that was really good to hear. And then for the generational difference, the biggest difference that we saw was when we asked them the question about, would you want to experience living in a subsea human habitat? So 73% of the younger generation said yes, and just 33% of the older generation said yes. And so we found that was interesting, that discrepancy between the two kind of generations. But we did find that those who said yes said that the average amount of time that they would stay down there was 6 months. So we were not anticipating people wanting to stay down that long, but that was great for us to hear. Our organization is building these subsea human habitats, so we're happy to hear about that excitement that's behind living undersea.
Well, I was about to ask you, can you discuss some of the inspiration behind you conducting this survey?
Yeah, absolutely. So one, again, just to kind of mark World Oceans Day, but also DEEP wanted to get a better understanding of, what's the opinion of the oceans out there, and is there a generational difference?
Right. And then now tell us, Doctor, about your personal journey, though, becoming a NASA-trained astronaut and kind of being inducted into Women's Divers Hall of Fame. That's something to talk about.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, so I've been diving for over 30 years and spent the background of my first career was actually in underwater exploration that transitioned into me studying humans who work and live in extreme environments. So that includes divers. And then I started to work with individuals and study individuals that are working at altitude and also outer space. And so I had the opportunity to merge those two career paths into one and was invited to be a crew member on a NASA undersea mission called NEMO. And so those of us that, once we've stayed underwater for 24 hours, you're referred to as an aquanaut. So I'm a NASA aquanaut. And yeah, it was just an incredible opportunity. So we lived down there as a 16-day mission to live amongst the coral reefs and study them. And we were testing out protocol and software and hardware that was going to space. So that was a very, very cool opportunity, again, to kind of merge those two career paths for me.
Dr. Kernagis, I love water and anything to do with water. I'm back for the flipper days, so I love Nemo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell us current work, though, with DEEP, and how does DEEP kind of participate in the preservation of our oceans?
Yeah, absolutely. So my role with DEEP is actually as Director of Scientific Research. So I get to work with and guide the researchers who are working internal to DEEP and also those that are working with us externally, so partners across academia and industry and also the government. But DEEP is building these subsea habitats as a tool for researchers and explorers. So traditional scuba diving, you're kind of limited to the amount of time that you can spend on the bottom, minutes to maybe an hour or so before you have to come back to the surface. With these subsea human habitats, you're able to stay down and equilibrate to the surrounding environment and the pressure at depth. And so you can do dives that are hours instead of minutes. And so researchers can really collect a lot of information and spend a lot of time on the bottom doing their work. And so it's been estimated that research that would typically take a year to 2 years can be completed within a week to 2 weeks. So if you really think about that amplification and just the opportunities that provides for the scientists and also the explorers who are trying to better understand our oceans, it's pretty cool.
Well, I tell you, with all of the work, and the scientific, findings and this surveys kind of really just help us bring some awareness to stuff we just wouldn't know ordinarily. But any last minute things you want to say, and then we've got to give us where we go for further information for all that you talked about today.
Yeah, well, just a really quick other fun note from our survey. So for those individuals that were willing to live in the undersea habitat, we asked them who they would be willing to spend a week with in the habitat, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was the #1 celebrity that they would want to live in the habitat with. But you mentioned Flipper, and actually we also asked the school children, like, what kind of animal would they want to be, marine animal, and dolphin was the #1 answer by far. So not a surprise. Yeah.
I knew that. That's what I would want to be.
Exactly. So I figured you like that answer. So please, I was going to say, check out deep.com, follow the updates as to what we're doing, and also there are links there to our social media.
I want to again thank former NASA astronaut and director of science research at Deep, Dr. Don Kernagis. Thank you so much for being with us. Just a pleasure to have you, and appreciate you doing the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Seems like forever is coming, I can't believe